Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ring Warriors this evening with me and the gang. The gang are here.
Hello.
So we're going to have some fun tonight. And we're already having some fun by pitching an idea of the Bill and Ben, the Flower Pot Men crossover, Defenders of Weed.
Yes.
Yes.
Will it happen? Will it be Ring Warriors or D&D? We don't know. But a one-off, a comedy special one-off might just happen in the future. Who knows? For the 5 people out there that remember Bill and Ben, the Flower Pot Men, there's the weed. It's happening. So, ladies and gents, I want to start it off. As you see, you got a Word document on screen because I want to go over something. It's been a couple of weeks. In that couple of weeks' time, I have either been ill or in Cardiff, which I did a thing for. But in that time, we talked. We had a good sit-down chat about things, and it was a good time to update a bunch of stuff involving Ring Warriors, which you are seeing on your screen. What you see is my Ring Warriors needed change list, dated from the 5th of October, so this is relatively recent. I have been gradually working through this list and going back through the entire manual to change things one step at a time. So, to go over what these changes are, let's go through them one by one. So, first big change from the very top. D20s are being removed from the game, meaning that the game will mostly only now be played with 3 different dice. A D4, a D12, and a D6. The reason for this is simply because we had a good chat about things, and pretty much rolling with D20s is like a RPG staple, right? It's kind of like been written in the annals of time, where can you really have a badass RPG without rolling a D20? The trick is, with how the game is now built, the answer is sadly, yes, we can build an epic game system without a D20. Because with a D20 and how the skills work in the game and how your stats work and how modifiers work, you're basically, from as early as level 1, you could be hitting a 30 plus extension on things. Nice to see you, Evie. Yeah, the D20 is sadly going. It's going to be a while before it's fully integrated into the sessions, however, so don't you worry. We are going to still be running things as we have been for the last amount of time until this is all fully transitioned over. And then, of course, there will be a little bit of breathing period to get used to everything, so it'll be a gradual pace. But I have been going through the manual. I am happy to say that I have completely updated every single race and every single style with this change. So all the major things, such as your character's skills and what they're able to perform, have now been sufficiently changed to a D12. As well as me doing that, I wasn't expecting to do it, but after reading through some of the skills and how they worked and how they synergized with other skills and the themes I was going for with certain styles, I managed to rework certain things and even change certain skills in their entirety to make the skills more viable, more usable, and at the same time more balanced. There were a couple of changes. I believe one of the biggest ones was actually in High Flyer, because looking over High Flyer, one of the big things about High Flyers is that from level 1, they can perform a jumping or diving attack with 60-foot range, which is double their speed. Or basically, they can perform a move to double their speed from level 1. That's the whole thing. Because from level 1, you can perform that from double your speed. You can perform a diving or jumping attack, and then if you hit it, you can decide to jump back to your original position without triggering attack openings. Because the whole trick with High Flyers is that they are tending to be a little bit more squishy, but they're kind of like the dragoons of the party, if you want to use Final Fantasy logic, where they're like, ring, boof, 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 and back to where it was. That was my whole trick with it anyway. Why not? You want to jump 10,000 feet up in the air and slam onto someone? Fuck yeah, I want you to do that. So I changed a later skill that had, like, because I realized you had that from level 1, and then there was a later skill that just said double your speed, and I'm like, that's not what we want anymore, because that was the whole point of level 1. So we've reworked that, and because I've been rewatching One Piece from the very beginning, currently on episode 218, I think? I actually remind myself. I am, yes, fantastic. And with some inspiration from One Piece as well, I've changed one of the late game or the later level High Flyer skills to actually represent springed feet. That was the name of it. And so now you kind of feel like Bellamy from One Piece, hopefully not getting one shot by a single punch, unlike Bellamy, but see how that works out. Basically, works like that, across the board, good stuff. Yeah, the D20 is sadly going to be removed from the game. Will it come back in the future? It might do. I might find a way to incorporate the D20 in the future, but for now, no. For the core of the mechanics, no. Just doesn't sit well yet. Stat check changes. I'm going through the manual again after I've done my first round fully to change these, because there's a lot of lingo in the wrestling manual that is so wrong, and I hate it so much. Such as you roll your appeal die versus your opponent's appeal, and if you roll higher than your opponent's appeal, this happens. I hate how that works out. I hate how that's worded, and I hate how you say it. Because there's a lot of words going on, and it's a lot of jumble and bleh, when you can just sum it all up by doing, you perform an appeal challenge against your opponent. Whoever wins the challenge does this happens. That's so much easier, so much better to do, and so much easier to explain as to what it is. So, effectively, we are going to have checks, they're staying, saves, they're staying, and contests. So, obviously, stat checks are kind of like, oh, I want to investigate this, roll a check for me, see if it happens. You know, your standard bits. Saves, where it's like you've been hit by something, or something is about to happen to you. Roll a save, see if it does happen, or see if you can mitigate damage, or see if you can survive something. Makes sense again if you are used to RPGs. Stat contests. Not a lot of RPGs do this, but in the realm of Ring Warriors and wrestling, it really makes sense. So stat contests would basically be, you have, let's say, because all the stat-based rolls revolve around a d6. So let's say you have your d6, and you have a toughness stat of 3, and then you have a toughness contest versus your opponent. Basically, you and your opponent both roll your d6, add your toughness modifier on top of that, be that the base, favor, or harm respectively, depending on what the Game Master says to you. You roll it, see the results. If one person scores higher than the other, a certain effect occurs, or potentially no effect occurs because you need to win over your opponent, and all that jazz. That's a contest. So it just adds more dice rolls, it adds more engagement, adds a little bit more fun, and a little bit more tenseness when it comes to certain moves as well. I like it. Hopefully, everyone else likes it as well as we incorporate that in. There are also going to be changes to the attire class because since we're not rolling nearly as high on a d20, we don't need the AC levels so high. So attire class changes are going to be rolling in. The numbers are going to be lower but more controlled and understandable, especially with the starting gear for wrestlers and for the game. But this does leave room to add in late game to more expensive or even legendary attire that have special effects, that give you more AC, that allow you to perform certain things a little bit better, incorporating inspirations from guys like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Andre the Giant, and the list goes on and on and on. It just helps to expand the universe a bit and add a little bit more homage to wrestling as a whole. There's also a change to crit damage and how that's calculated. So at the moment, crit damage is calculated by just rolling double the dice and... Wait, was that it? I think that was it. No. Crit damage at the moment was calculated as you do max damage base on whatever move you're performing, and then you roll your damage die on top of that max damage to get that much off. Sounds good on paper, kinda iffy in practice, because basically you're saying to people, let's say for example you have a 6 in power and you're performing a power move and you roll a 6, you also have that 6 modifier, you do 12 damage at base without even having to roll, and then you can potentially add another 12 on top, dealing 24 damage, and that is at level 1. Do you understand why we have to change it? So we made it. I had a little bit of an idea surf with the guys, and basically we just want to double the attack roll. So you get your d6, you roll it twice, or you get two d6s, roll it twice. No, you don't even do that. I'm so sorry. I've written it down here and I'm reading it wrong. It's pathetic. You take your d6, you roll your d6, add your stat modifier, and you times the result by 2. This in itself means that you can roll really badly but still do a half decent amount of damage or a comedic amount of damage. You still have the chance of getting 24, but your chances of getting 24 damage at level 1 are drastically reduced, but at the same time the incentive to get it is still there. It's still very present. Because I didn't want to remove the high damage, you just want to make the high damage result feel more worthwhile and feel like more of a epic win to obtain, rather than, oh, I've just got it because, well, I already had 12 damage off the bat. Easy. You know? Doesn't quite make sense. At least to me. Hopefully that works out. We'll test that when it happens. There are some other changes. I made a note here that I was changing Knife Edge Chop from the Strong Styler moveset, which has a changed damage output because it was rolling on d6s, which was way too powerful. So we've changed the damage to just 2d4 and upgrades to 2d6s by the time you reach level 19. So when you are dealing that big amount of damage, by that time people are going to have big amounts of HP. It warrants it. There are going to be changes to supplements. So supplements to be giving a plus 1d4 or plus 1d6 or plus 1d12 stat boost instead of just a flat 6, which I personally think is a really good idea. That was an idea from Vinny. Really good one. Again, it gives people an idea too. You can invest into something that may make you powerful enough to beat the living crap out of people, but at the same time it may only give you that little bit of help, which might not be as valuable, or be all the value you need. You know, it's options. I have made a note on here saying I want to add changes to the submission moves because I don't like how holds only do damage over time per turn. And you basically sacrifice the rest of your turn by keeping a hold on, which doesn't really make sense. I'm going through a couple of ideas at the moment. I think my favourite idea at the moment is changing submission moves so that you put your opponent into a hold. If you are successful, you do the hold's initial damage, which is normally d6 plus whatever modifier. And then after that, you roll a d4 as if you were going to keep the hold on. But instead of that representing the amount of turns that player is held in, now the d4 represents how many times you wrench the hold as you are holding on to your opponent. And that in itself gives you the chance to roll that many d4 in damage die for added damage. But in order for that damage to go through, you and your opponent have to have toughness die contests against one another to see if the damage does proc or it doesn't proc. Again, an idea where I had, when you finish performing that hold on the opponent on your turn, you can choose to keep the hold on, which if you do will keep the opponent in a held state and they'll have to fight out of it during their turn to see if they can get out, which can add some interesting ideas in. It gives you options still. It still allows you to hold your opponent as if you were grappling in D&D, but gives you a little bit more of an incentive to do it. You still get damage output, but you don't have to wait like 3 turns to deal half decent damage whilst your teammates are doing that much amount of damage in just their 1 turn alone. You know, you're not sacrificing turns, basically. I didn't want people to be discouraged on using submission moves. Changes to contests. That was basically what I said earlier, so no need to worry about that. And attacks of opportunity are now being renamed to attack openings. I like the name of it. It makes a little bit more sense in the wrestling world because you see an opening and you want to go in and attack for it. Plus, attacks of opportunity are very much a D&D thing. And as much as D&D has been a huge inspiration for me to design the game in the first place, I'm trying to distance myself from D&D as much as possible so that the game can stand on its own 2 feet, whilst at the same time being respectful to D&D in a way of saying, I was inspired by you, but I'm not going to directly copy you because, you know, plagiarism, copyright, it's just not good. So that's all the major changes coming so far. Sorry if that was a bit long-winded, but that's effectively what's being worked on. But with that said, there is another thing that we need to discuss. And this thing we need to discuss is actually pretty cool. Because it involves new party member Artemis. So, as you guys may know, we are joined by Evie, new party member, all the way from the States, who has joined the team and already become a fantastic part of the team, I must say. Really enjoying it. And with that, our very own Tash, the person who has created the character art for our main characters for the campaigns, has designed Artemis. And so, before we kickstart this evening, I want to do a grand unveiling of Artemis's character so you guys can look, be amazed. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I give you Artemis! Ooh. Ah. Hey.
Hey.
Oi.
So, little bit of an interview with Tash. What was your design process when coming up with the design of Artemis?
Well, the first thing that I had to take into consideration was that Evie stated that Artemis identified as non-binary. So I had to create a design that more or less reflected that, as well as kind of interpret it in such a way that people can't really say, oh, she's this or he's that. No, it's just they. And second of all, Evie, when I was talking to Evie about what sort of thing she wanted for her wrestler, she specifically said that she liked the whole fortune telling, tarot cards, and she wanted to use tarot cards as weapons in that. So I essentially more or less looked up sort of gypsy kind of fortune telling attire, and I believe the main influence for this particular design was a wrestler by the name of Roxy Laveau.
Yep, the Voodoo Queen,
The
Roxy
Voodoo
Laveau.
Queen. Particularly with like the similar kind of top that you see before you, and the kind of like red cloth sort of like wrapped around the waist and that. And I was debating whether to go with like one side of her leggings. Like if you look closely at like the like harem pantsy type things, you'll see like sort of patterns there. I was debating between just doing one type of pattern on the pants, or like one side being striped and the other being like argyle. Mainly
Right.
because I was taking inspiration from Molly Mork from Critical Role. But then I thought, I think for that reason of plagiarism, I'm just going to stick with the argyle. Besides, I felt that the argyle looked a lot better than what Stripes probably would have done. And color scheme wise, yeah, Evie wanted like sort of purples, blues, reds, blacks, and in terms of the tarot card that you see in her hand, I was initially thinking like with Death with the Scythe, but then I thought, you know what? Like, since this whole gypsy fortune telling like shenanigans, that let's make it a little bit not trippy as such, but like kind of along the lines. So I done the whole Day of the Dead skull type thing, and it's very vibrant on the card, as one may see.
Oh yes.
And yeah, like that's more or less that's more or less the process of designing Artemis.
Lovely. I mean, the art's come out very well. It's very good to see that Evie said she does love it. She said it in the chat. That's fantastic. And happy to have her aboard. The only criticism I would have of the artwork is why the card is not the world, but that's when we're going into the world of JoJo, and yeah, probably best to not. Yeah.
To be fair, Evie brought up like more of the Death Arcana than the world, so
totally. I mean, like the whole theme of what the Death Arcana does as well just fits.
Yeah.
Especially since I have, for the sake of making sure that Artemis has a half-decent storyline, I have been researching tarot cards properly, and holy jeez, hopefully I have done you justice. So, without further ado, who's ready to roll some dice and kick some ass?
I am!
One is.
Just me?
I am ready to do that as soon as I can find my sheet.
I'm such an eager beaver.
And no, the Eager Beaver is
No
not
worries.
an unlockable race in the Kickstarter
campaign. Darn!
Not yet, at least.
For God's sake, stop. Will he
Oh my God, Foxy, like,
Yeah.
oh man, like there should be a beaver wrestler called Rob Van Dam.
God
Oh,
damn it.
God damn it.
Why?
So
I want that.
I believe
actually
our
want that.
DM actually wants that. So
You're
now
welcome.
he has to flesh out the beaver.
But he has like the buck teeth and like the paddle tail and everything.
Oh God.
Yeah, like think about it. It would be perfect to have like this sort of river kind of environment, and they would have like this lumberjack matches there.
Yes.
With
Yes,
like
because-
rings made out of like chucked wood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I mean, yeah.
Why, just call this the River Stream Lumberjack match.
Yes.
This is
Oh my
not
God,
happening. No, stop.
But like the ring is like actually made from like chuckwood, and it's like on like a river, and and they're like on rapids and things, and like if you chuck your opponent out of the ring, they're struggling out of the water and all that jazz.
Look, how about we take these ideas, we lock them in a box, put that box to one side, and we maybe open that box when we do the Zootopia expansion.
Yes.
Which is looking like it's going to happen.
It seems like that. There is.
I mean, I had some great ideas for an expansion after the original release. Maybe doing something along the lines of like an NWO thing, but the NWO are from space, and you have to fight space guys in order to now become the Universal Champion. And you just expand it on that grounds. But no, animals, anthropomorpha, of course.
I mean, it can still be an expansion to work on.
You're not wrong.
Yes.
You're not wrong. Let me know what expansion you would like to see in the comments below. And if enough people want Zootopia, I will grant the people what they want. And I shall release water! Or just release the animals. It's gonna be like
unleash them.
It's gonna be like Dr. Dolittle the expansion.
Oh my god.
Only far better than that performance of Robert Downey Jr.
Ooh. I mean, I haven't actually seen the trailer yet, so.
With that said, let's transition to the game screen.
Yes.
Everyone's favourite place.
Yeah.
As we start this evening's game of Ring Warriors.
Definitely.
Woo-hoo.
Hallelujah. So,
Yosh.
a little bit of an update with how things went. So, the guys are in the Bermuda Triangle. They are at the gym that used to be the go-to gym for Mike Jaws, the big rival of Lavanya, as Lavanya is getting psyched and ready to face him in glorious combat for the World Hardcore Championship. As well as that, we are also here because Erg will be facing an old buddy of his, Grunk, for the High Mountain Championship. On top of that, Artemis also has a championship match going against for a brand new championship being made in the world known as the Hand of Fate Championship. And then you have Liam.
Who's already the strong style champion? British strong style champion.
British strong style champion.
British strong style.
And he tried his best to hack into some dental records that didn't go so well. And to break into an old man's office, which again did not go so well. But in the last session, you were introduced to Artemis Quartz, brand new party member, the dark elf extremist who is very much attuned to the world of foresight, aka fortune telling. She tends to play about with a deck of cards most of the time. As you can tell, they are a full deck of tarot cards with all the different tarots on there, as she has used them in combat as well as she played role in the referee in a bit of a grudge match, or a mini little tester match, between Lavanya and mysterious new boy on the block, AJ. A cloaked individual who beat the snot out of Lavanya to the point where he put you to sleep with the climax move he's been working on for quite some time, which he has been honing for the hopes of taking down and casting his revenge on the one and only Mike Jaws. However, we do not know why. We do not know what is quite happening on that ground with AJ. All we do know, however, is that the old man of the gym has introduced you to Jacob, the bull sharkon, who has taken it upon himself to help you guys get your mindset ready for training, as the pay-per-view is not that far away. So with that being said, guys, you have a gym. Jacob's there to help you. He is the trainer of this gym, very loyal. The cause of getting people good, making people better. So, I want to know, what kind of training do you want to do?
Go ahead, Foxy. I have an idea, but you go first.
I think I could go with some prepping matches, so I can work on some stretching techniques, more on involuntary yoga in a way.
Oh yeah. So what Jacob does for you is he gets a couple of the other boys, sets you guys up in the ring, and gives you all. One of the other guys that he's actually asked to come into the ring is more like a more appropriate yoga guy, as he's just getting everyone to do like different yoga moves and stretch and relax and get zen into oneself, in order to prepare the body and the mind. But with that being said, because you are preparing your body and mind, why don't you give me a smarts check and just see how good your training is?
Yes, just a moment. I shall do that. So 1d20
Yeah, we're still rolling with the d20s.
or yes,
Until the updates have officially
that's
came across, we're still playing it like
15.
regular. Okay. It's alright.
That's 15, but it's just flat 20.
Fair enough. It's alright. It's absolutely fine. Your training is going well. You're stretching. You're following the procedures. You're maybe not exactly hitting the perfect stretch marks, but you're doing it to an adequate standard. But for that, if I roll the dice here, you will have a temporary buff to your smarts, as your smarts will have +1 for your first 3 attacks in your first encounter.
Okay.
Make a note of that somewhere. And you're basically going to be primed, body and mind, ready to go. Then we head over to Lavania.
Oh, the smarts buff. It was
Yes, you
for
get
the first encounter?
Yeah, +1 to your smarts for the first 3 attacks of your next encounter. Done. So, Lavania, you've had a bit of an emotional ride. You fought AJ, you got very, very angry, as you have been in the past. But you've learned that, of course, the old man fought your old man, and was the reason as to why he now has a heavily damaged back. And has given you some mighty fine words of advice. But how is it that you wish to train for this evening?
I actually would like to go and look for AJ.
Oh, damn. Okay, so
No.
when you ask about looking for AJ, Jacob just looks at you and just goes, well, AJ went on a run. He tends to go on his own routes around the Bermuda Triangle. If you're not too well versed about the area, it's probably not best for you chase after him. If you are after him, though, I've got a great idea. You're probably best... There's an old playground. It's about a couple of miles south of here. Head down there, go on a bit of a jog. There's some like local gym equipment down there, like outside free gym equipment you can train on if you want to. But if AJ's gonna stop anywhere, it's there. Trust me. You'll see.
Alright then, that's where I'm gonna go then. Thanks for the tip.
Okay. And you head out, go on your jog, and we'll head back to you in just a moment. So sadly, Evie, aka Artemis, is going to be a little bit delayed joining us at the moment. So for the sake of things, I will be basically uttering what I would believe Erg and Artemis will be doing, but any roles will be performed by Liam and Lavanya respectively. So
Yes.
with Artemis, starting with her, wanting to hone her craft out a little bit more, to actually take some time away from training physically. More so like getting her cards out and practicing her reading so that she doesn't lose touch with how things are going to go. She knows she has a big championship match coming up, so she's going to try and do some readings for herself to see if the future holds well for her championship dream. With that being done, Lavanya, aka
Hello.
Tashi, why don't you roll me a wits check to see how well Artemis's reading goes.
And then it'll be a +2 to that. That's a 6.
That is not great. The read is not the best read. If anything, it kind of gives signs of unsurety, a couple of signs of an unpredictable nature, a potential curveball, or a potential disappointment in the future. Unsure if it is tied to even this match. This forthcoming reading could be tied to something deeper in the future. It could be something that might just happen in a couple of minutes to a couple of hours. It's very hard to predict. Although we know that there is the sign of disappointment on the horizon, but she can't quite pinpoint whether that's for her or someone else. Or, sorry, for them or for someone else. Sorry, I need to get used to the whole terminology of non-binary bits. It's my bad. I do apologize.
You're doing your best. You're doing your best. You made yourself aware of it, and it's all good.
It's true. I have never had to deal with this ever. So, first
It's
time
all
for
cool.
everything. And if
You're doing well.
And if you are disrespected by anything that I say, number one, I apologize. And number two, if you don't realize this is my first time doing it, grow a freaking pair and realize that I need to bloody learn, you wazzocks. Anyway, we have Urg. Urg is Urg, got his shiny rock, and everything's good in Urgland. But Urg has a mission. Urg wishes to dunk harder than he has ever dunked before, because he knows, even though it's been a while that he's met Grunk, he knows that through his ties in friendship, a Magician Reverse, but to be honest, I feel that on a spiritual level outside the game. Ooh, freaky. So with Urg, he just wants to dunk so hard that when it comes to facing Grunk, he is ready. He is ready to dunk, spunk, Grunk and Glunk all over Grunk. Oh yeah, that fun. So he's going to do some crazy techniques. He goes up to Jacob, basically says to Jacob that he wants to dunk. He wants to hone his dunk. So Jacob takes him to one side, introduces him to a bunch of the guys that are the more heavyweight builders of the gym, that are the regulars there. And he says, right, best way to improve your strength and those arms of yours, put your arms out, and Urg does. The big boys that he's got with him grab onto Urg's arms, and Jacob says, if you want to master the dunk, you've got to make your arms stronger. So, with these guys on your arms, I want you to try and lift them. I want you to jump with them holding onto you. Basically to do super hard strength training to see if this mountain is truly ready for the challenge ahead. With that said, Liam!
Yes.
Roll me a power check for Urg.
What? How much is the modifier?
The power check looks like an 8, if I see it right.
That it is.
Yes. Okay, so that's a 13.
Again, not bad. He's probably not doing it to the best of his abilities because, as we all know, Urg is kind of dumb. He's not that well tuned. He probably heard some of the key words in what he was asked to do, but didn't really clock on that well. So, he's doing his best, but he's not all in, so to say. But, he does, however, I'll make note of this for him, he does, indeed, have a +1 to his power, but only for his first attack on his next encounter. For poor Erg.
No.
Bit of time passes, training continues, honing of skills mastered, as we switch over to Lavanya in the middle of her jog. Your jog is going well, you aim directly south as was asked by Jacob, and you do come across an old playground. This playground has some like old rusted frames set up, some of which have collapsed to the ground, and you just see them like just sitting there, just wading away. The playground has not been used for many a year. If anything, it's been used as more like a dumping ground, as you see some like odd rubbish here and there. But you can tell that there was something important. That there's something quite unique to this area. Something powerful. And as you approach this park, you see a figure. See a figure standing near a set of swings. As he slowly approaches one of the seats, sits onto it, and just sits there. On the seat, not even holding on to like the chain links that are keeping the seat onto the bars that are only just able to hold him. As he just sits there as if to contemplate. As if to just be one with himself. And identify that this is AJ. What do you do?
I like to approach the swings. And I go, mind if I sit with you?
AJ, still heavily cloaked to cover his face, doesn't tend to move, as he doesn't give a direct yes or no. But you do see like a little raised head bob motion from his head, as if to identify it's nonchalant. Sure, do what you want.
Yeah, she'll sit down on the swing next to him. And there's a bit of silence for a moment.
Silence
Before
just
going, yeah.
drips in. You just let the feel of the place just come to you. Let AJ have his moment. As when some time passes, he doesn't look over to your direction, but he just goes, "So what, you're gonna follow me everywhere now?"
Not really. I just wanted to say thank you.
Thanks for being the crap out of you. Jeez. And if you're so thankful about that, I should have beat you up even more.
Well, I was a little pissed off at first, I'll tell you that, but it kind of reminded me of something that I've been ignoring all this time. Something that maybe I was in denial about.
And then AJ, he doesn't seem to react, like as in move in any way to clock onto what you're saying, but he is listening. As he just goes, "Is this where you start to monologue about your bullshit life story?"
Well, put it this way. I know the feeling of having a shitty childhood. I know the feeling of dealing with that so much that I kind of forgot to be a kid again. All this time I was working towards, my father was an alcoholic, drunk his days away, which didn't give us a lot of money for food and the roof over our heads. Mom worked extra hard to get money in, and not gonna lie, I stole shit from grocery stores just to keep food on the table. No one really know this since they just wanted food in their bellies. And they got caught. Dad beat the absolute living shit out of me. Once Mom realized why I did what I did, she decided to leave with me. Only my dad wouldn't allow that. Hospitalized her for months. And since then, I wanted to repay her. But I was only 11 years old. 11 years old, and I never got to be a kid again. Just worked hard at being the toughest that I can be and getting to where I am now just so I could give Mom a good future. Independence away from her parents and my grandparents who helped her out so much, but it would be better for her to, stand on her own 2 feet. And then you beating the absolute shit out of me kind of reminded me of that. Reminded me that I was so focused on being angry with my father and trying to help my mom out that I just forgot about taking care of myself. So yeah, you could say I spilled all my life story out on a leather couch or something along the lines, but yeah, I just wanted to thank you for reminding me of what's really important.
It's that moment in time when you notice that he is starting movements, but not necessarily movements as if to clock on to what you were saying, but more so him just going, You weren't kidding. Life has been shit. Tell you one thing though, Snaky. At least you have a family to fight for. See this playground? Abomination. One pass this place every day because it's a place I remember from my childhood. I only remember it because this is where I was abandoned when I was a kid. Never knew my mom, never knew my dad. All I knew was this playground, kids we used to play on it. The time that old man found me when he wasn't quite an old man. Thanks to him, I have my own family now. Every kid that you see in that gym that idolizes me or tells me off or is scared of me, they actually love me like a big bro. I look out for each and every one of those as if I was looking out for someone who I was related to blood. Problem is, I don't know who I'm related to. Family's dead. As far as I'm aware of it. I run past this park every day as a reminder of it not going back to work. Since what happened with us, never respected what. With his money, he could save the gym, could have given us great futures, could have fixed this park. Look at what he's done. All his fame, abilities, his admiration, he's done nothing. Absolutely torched the place. Ruined it and left it alone so he can just stay in the big city and the big lights. He's everything I hate. I need to destroy him. It's the only. As he finishes saying that, you notice that he's raised his head a bit as he's just like looking like into the distance as if to foresee his future.
Well, whatever it is you decide to do, don't stoop too low to Mike's level. Never really liked the guy. I don't want to have to start hating you too.
How about we say this? Whoever, you've got the first chance to take out Jaws. How about if you don't succeed, I follow suit and finish the job?
Just as long as you don't actually kill him, because I mean, there's plenty of people who want to queue up to beat the absolute living shit out of him, right?
Oh, don't you worry. I say I want to beat the crap out of Jaws and destroy him. I don't want to destroy his life. Destroy his career. I want to destroy Set. I want him to realize who he should be. Beat the crap into him until he realizes. Who knows? With the rate you're going, you might have a chance to do that before I even get my hands on him. He says this to you as he starts, like, standing up from the seat of the swing. As he just pounds a fist into his open hand, rubs it as if to think that he is ready in a way.
Well, if I do win against Jaws, first thing I'm gonna do is help repair the gym. I don't know if you know, but I'm a decent building contractor. Fixed a few places up in my time. I'm sure a little bit of spitting nails and stuff can't fix.
I was always told that you hiss in full of surprises. Guess the old man.
Yeah, she'll stand up from a swing, and then she goes, "So, let's start off on the right foot. Last one to the gym last one to the gym buys the other drinks, and then she'll just go, Mew. Just start off on the right foot, you know."
And at that moment, he kind of stays there and chuckles, as he does follow you in suit. And with that being said, it is time for a contest of speed.
Oh, yes.
Now, are you power running, or are you running in any particular way?
Um, I mean, you know what? Let's go power running. Let's go for it. Oh god,
Right.
my earphones.
That's the case. Give me a power check to see how your run goes.
Okay. Not bad. That is a 23.
That is not bad at all. You are on the right foot, and you are charging forward quite steadily towards the gym, leaving AJ in your wake. AJ rolls. Hey, he matches you.
Ooh.
And as you look back, you think you're actually quite a way ahead. And as you focus back the run, you just notice something on your other side. As you just see the hooded, black-coated man, AJ, running directly beside you, as if to go, more like you're buying the drinks.
Well, if I do win, don't buy me anything alcoholic.
And let's go for another. Are you still going to power run, or are you going to do anything else?
Let's go power. I rolled a 12. No, not 12. Sorry, it's 12 plus 6, so that's 18.
Okay. You're still doing quite well. You're on the path. You kind of hit your cardio a little bit, but not too badly. And you're still heading a steady pace towards the gym. AJ, however, critical fail.
Critical fail.
As he is running, he seems to trip on a surface nearby and collapse. but you're running so fast and so forward and true that you don't even notice. You just carry on, then you just notice that AJ is not with you, as if to think, "Ha, you've got a lead." And indeed, you are heading up close to the gym, and as you do, you approach the gym's main doors, open up, like quite pacing for your breathing, going quite heavily.
Yeah.
And everyone's happy to see you back. And then as you're panting, you just hear
Hear a clap?
yes. And as
It's
you
a
look to
single
one
clap.
side, you just hear the words, as I said, you're buying the drinks. As AJ's is just leaning against the wall near the door.
Like, as she's sort of panting for the first time in a long time, she just starts to laugh like as a kid would when running around like a madman in a playground or something.
Oh, yeah.
She's just laughing so much.
And as you start to laugh, you just hear
Always
AJ
gonna-
laughing alongside you. A bunch of the other guys in the gym also laughing their heads off, not really understanding why, but just joining in because it's so contagious. A good feel.
It is a good feel.
A good feel indeed as the night continues and gradually comes to its end. You rest, and when sleep has ended, you awake to find yourself. No. Sadly, this is not the
man.
Ring Warriors cross Darkroom crossover that we wanted.
I'm
But if a
disappointed.
certain Mr. Robinson is out there in Twitterland, I know that you have seen my tweets. I know that you are not intimidated by my presence. Sir, I will challenge you to a duel of Dark Room versus Ring Warriors action at any point. At me. Yeah. I went there, boy. Anyway, with that shoot being done, you awaken from your sunburn. It's now a brand new day as you can step out into... Like, you were resting in like a big shared part of the gymnasium where you and the guys... Like, literally all the kids that don't necessarily have a roof over their heads that stay in the gym just have blankets over them, just laying on, like, some of them even sleeping in the ring on the canvas itself. It's quite a nice feel to know that the family's this tight and this close as the day starts, and as you all wake up, you notice that your phones, that all of you have, start vibrating.
I remember setting
Well.
on my alarm. Carry on.
Liam, being his usual, looks up, takes out his phone and looks up, and well, it's just like, who the hell wants to call at this hour?
When you go to your phone, it's not a phone call. It's a text message.
Oh. Oh. Well, Liam opens the text message.
Lovely. You open your phone, and as you open it up,
Mhm.
you see there is a text message. The text messages is a number just simply known as WWO, signifying the World Wrestling Organization. All of you
Yes.
have the same text message that reads, It's match day! Your big match is today in the Bermuda Triangle. Do not forget that this is one step closer to championship glory, or even greater championship glory if you already have the belt. Be ready, as the limo will be outside shortly to take you to the Grand Bermuda Triangle Arena.
Well, Liam wakes everyone up. Isn't who is still sleeping and starts to get ready.
I want to roll to see whether Levan is asleep or not.
Okay,
Um,
roll.
I
Okay,
rolled. Yeah, sorry. What did you want me to roll?
how about we do this? Both of you roll d20s, but for Liam, I want you with your d20 to roll a d20 plus your. Well, actually, how do you plan on waking up Lavanya?
I'm intrigued.
Thank you, original by the way, for the lemons.
Well, Liam is gonna go with, like the basic take a hold of the shoulder and just shaking a little bit, like, oh hey, come on, wake up. We have things to do.
Because I'm debating whether to. Okay, so I rolled a 10. I'm debating whether to accidentally sleep through Liam or wake up totally aware that it is Liam and be like, oh, okay, I shouldn't punch him. Yeah, so what would
Okay.
what does that say? The 10.
What do I need to roll?
Okay, so this is what you two are going to be doing. So, Liam versus Lavanya
Yes.
in a wake up versus sleep contest. So, I want you both to roll me d6s.
Okay.
I want you to add your toughness modifiers. Whoever has the overall highest score succeeds.
God damn.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 5.
I rolled the complete opposite. I rolled a 6, giving me a total of 12.
Oh wow.
Nice. And it's a bit of a struggle.
Like part of me wants to accidentally punch Liam, like waking her up. Sleep. It's called sleep through, man.
Sleep foo.
Yeah.
So you're going to be resting for a little bit. Ironically, Urg's actually really easy to wake up in comparison to Lavanya. And if anything, he's just going to come over and try and help you out, as he doesn't quite understand how to use his phone, but knows something's up. And there's a reason why you're trying to get him up. So Urg just goes, allow me, as he just steps on over Lavanya and just gives a big slap onto Lavanya's chest.
Sleep through time. What do I want to roll?
What was your AC again, Lavanya?
19.
And Urg rolled a 20. Not natural, but
Yeah, dirty 20.
dirty 20.
Yeah, that hits.
And with that slap, doesn't deal any damage because it's not intended to
Oh
physically harm you. But as it smacks you down onto your chest, it was like, what? What? Jeez.
Ow! Damn! What was that for? Okay, this is very awkward.
It's time to go.
Okay, you
so
two.
Important.
You two are going to explain why you are surrounding my bed like weird horror movie. Okay, I'm just gonna get up. Yeah, I'm just gonna get up. Like, Yeah, just give me a moment. Just give me a
Okay.
Fair enough.
And
You-
Liam quickly packs up his
yeah.
and already goes outside.
I'm
Lovely.
surprised you got
And
past my sleep.
as he goes there, he before he exits the door, he just says, "And be quick."
All right.
And as you're ready to head out, Artemis is still quite
Mhm.
quite nonchalantly laying there, enjoying their rest. Quite chilled out at the moment. Like Erg will try to head over to her, not try and do the same thing as what he did to Lavanya, but just go try and crouch very close to Artemis and just poke. As like, come on.
Like, wake up!
And just go poke, 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 as if to consistently be annoying. See what this will do. Now, has the elusive Evie joined us? Or is...
What did I miss?
Hey! Speak of the devil,
Hey!
and they shall come.
So, a training session was had. You had a reading gone wrong. Lavanya came back from a long walk and laughed. Yay. And it is now wake up time as your limo is here to take you to the stadium. And you're sleepy. Erg is just trying to poke you to wake you up.
Poke me? Okay, I'm just gonna swat him away like a fly.
And Erg would just be persistent and keep trying his best. As if to go, come on, limo, 2 minutes.
I guess I'll finally get up because, I get annoyed easily.
You just get up in a really ticked off mood. You're not quite satisfied. You're not quite happy with the way you woke up today. You feel as if you have a premonition as if you will make Erg pay for this later.
Plot twist: the reading that went wrong was for Erg for waking you up. Shocker. I mean, what?
Definitely.
Could be the case.
Oh.
Now, Artemis, as you wake up, you kind of have a moment when your head's hurting, and you just remember something that you envisioned during your evening, when you envisioned a mysterious person walking with a cloak over them, and as they turned around to reveal themselves, it's as if the vision that you have of them flashed before you were able to see their face. As then when you looked again after the flash, the individual who's cloaked is no longer cloaked, but you just see a darkened silhouette of an individual standing intimidatingly over you, looking down upon you with a set of curled horns. And you just see nothing but a pair of deep red eyes staring at you. And that's an important thing that you just remember from your nightly slumber.
I feel like that's what I got.
Fair play.
Oh.
You may feel free to share that with the party, or if you wish to keep that alone, that's absolutely fine.
I think I'm gonna keep that to myself for now, unless it becomes important.
No worries. All good for me. Okay. So you get your bits, you get up, you get ready. As the limo has indeed arrived, a suited individual standing outside ready to welcome you guys in. As he goes, You must be the wrestlers chosen by Leafmeyer. This limo's for you, just head straight on in. Next destination, Bermuda Triangle Arena.
Liam sits in the limo, is waiting sort of impatiently, but doesn't really show it.
Yeah, Lavon is ready. She goes in the limo. And she's not going to be late for the one chance of revenge. I mean, what? I mean, revenge? What revenge?
Obviously, Animus is the last to join them, and I'ma just curl up and go back to sleep.
Oh,
Fair enough. That's completely fair. And before you came in, Erg got into the limo, all excited, all happy, all ready to go. But as soon as he sees you climb in and go back into a sleepy position, he just goes back to just to keep being annoying with you again.
Is it too late to like punch him or like throw a card at him?
It's never too late to do that. Would you like to punch or throw a card?
I feel like throwing a card because punching a rock actually kind of hurts.
Got a good point.
Yes.
You take a single card from your tarot deck and throw it in Erg's general direction. Roll me a d20 plus your smarts, please.
My smarts added?
Yes.
50.
Not bad. Not bad. Sadly, it is not higher than Erg's AC. But it does give Erg the warning. As the card is thrown, kind of ricochets off of Erg, not really doing damage, but still stopping him in his place. As the card just seems to perfectly be thrown over, ricochet off of his body, and then you just catch it again in the tarot deck as it just slides seemingly back in, because you don't want it damaged. You don't want to be separated from the rest of the pack. It doesn't make sense. And then Erg just goes, I stop now.
I love how aggressive, like, Lavanya and Artemis are about their sleep.
So true.
I myself pictured when Artemis was getting up, I was picturing an anime character getting up, not even slowly standing up, but bolting right up and just going like, fine, I wake up now. Just leave me be. Sort of way.
All right, I'll wake up, you baka.
Yeah.
Nani!
Oh my god.
As you settle down, get into your groove, the limo does start moving. And it's not too long of a journey, but it's just long enough. As you see some headlines come up on a little flip down TV in the some headlines of the news come rolling in. There's new peaceful activity happening in Cairo, as it seems as if the big divide of the Hissen and the Araks is slowly seeming to be repaired, as a lot more people are helping out one another, not caring about social standing or financial standing, just wanting to help each other out, becoming more understanding of each other, weapons being dropped, areas being more welcoming, which is a great sign. And at the front runner of bringing people together is a group of individuals led by none other than your buddy Shahir.
Oh, Oh.
Well, that's nice to hear some good news on that part of the world.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Rookie Shahir's all grown up.
And then, meanwhile, over into the land of the rising sun, you get word that there may just be a new potential champion on the Mists. As you see in the news, the rumors are circulating that a new #1 contender could be crowned for the Japanese Wrestling Championship. Who is this #1 contender? Well, they basically spend a while teasing who it could be, going over a few wrestling names that are relatively new to the scene, but you necessarily haven't heard of. And then one name cries out. A front runner that you just see that really seems to get the crowd pumping with his unique style to the world of wrestling. You see that the front runner, the #1 contender, is none other than Kickflip,
Woo!
as he's getting there with his wrestling
Woo!
skills.
Nice. Nice to hear from Japan
Oh yeah. Last bit of good news.
quite well for himself.
Oh heck yeah. The last bit of good news as you guys are travelling. You see that there's a bit of an emotional clip on the telly, as there is like the lineup of news correspondents outside of number 10 Downing Street, as you would see in the news in the UK, especially at the moment, things are happening. And you see the epic reuniting of Eric and his father at number 10 Downing Street, outside of the doors, holding each other tightly. You hear that the journalist says that you could hear the potential use of the words "I love you, son" and "I love you, dad" being used in the distance.
Oh.
You notice that Eric does
It's
have,
great to see.
like, Eric's got like a big cloak over his like his chest, and he's got a pair of trousers on. Seems as if it's covering up like his top half of his body, as if it may be revealing like any like deformities or scars that he may have after having a surgical procedures done that he has had. But he does seem to be healthy, extremely happy that he's back home.
No.
Well, that's nice because we went to save him, and I would like to think that we succeeded
Too damn right
because
we.
he's because he is home.
Yes. And a certain douche nozzle McDouche nozzle ham pork chicken McFlurry scientist.
Ham pork chicken McFlurry. It sounds as great as Sir Henry Chicken Caesar.
Mm.
You mean strong ham?
Yeah, that douche nozzle.
Douche nozzle indeed. As these news articles are being brought up on screen, Ugg is quite emotional, bless him. He's in tears of joy, more so than anything else. As he just speaks to everyone and just goes, "Look at the change we make. Look at the impact we have on people's lives. Look at what we have done."
I couldn't agree with you more on this particular topic.
And then as the news is rolling that little bit more, you see that there is an exclusive interview with none other than Mike Jaws outside of the arena, as of course today is big fight day with him versus you, Lavanya, for his World Hardcore Championship, which he is donning over his shoulder. He is suited and booted at the moment with a pair of dark glasses on as if to mask his eyes.
Oh,
As he is just pompous champion look going on. As he's
whoop-de-doo.
basically, as he's on the radio, you can tell that he's just answering questions saying like, "I'm the best, I'm gonna kick ass, I'm gonna do this, gonna do that." Basic crap that any person who's big up themselves, and a champion would say. And then, as the news correspondent is about to pass it back to the studio, he grabs the microphone and just goes, "I ain't done yet. Hey, Snake Gal, I know you're out there. I know you're looking at me. I know you're looking at this belt. Tell you what, if you want this so badly, maybe you should go on your knees and cry like the good little girl you are. Run back to your mommy. No, wait, I'm gonna send you back to your mommy in a body bag." As he just drops the mic and starts walking into the arena.
That arrogant little piece of. And Liam
I'm not
just
worried about
ran
him.
off.
I'm not worried about him. I'll be okay.
Yeah,
gonna be
you
fine.
better teach him some humility.
Well, a little more than that, but yeah, that's a good start, I suppose.
It's funny, because in my head, I just have the perfect response from the legendary Iron Sheik, who would just be like, "I will make him humble! I put him in the camel clutch!" And if you have never seen Iron Sheik say things like that, I will send things after the stream to my social medias and to you guys in the chat to introduce
Please
you
do.
to the wonderful life and the wonderful man that is the Iron Sheik. Legend in the
Please
wrestling
do.
business. And legend when it comes to, "No, I didn't say I would fuck him. I said I would make him humble, put him in the camel clutch, beat his ass down." He is
Yeah, Iron
amazing.
Sheik is one. He's one of the best stage personalities there is.
It's so true. Like, let's put it this way: if you loved Scott Steiner doing maths, and if you have not seen that promo, then I will introduce you to that one. If you like Scott Steiner doing maths, you will like everything about the Iron Sheik. It's just so good. Sheiky baby to one side. As emotions are rising, anticipation cannot be felt any longer. The limo comes to a halt. The nicely suited gentleman opens up the door, lets you guys out. As you are here at the Bermuda Triangle Arena, quite an amazing arena, as it is very large in scope and size. You are in a little drive-in backstage area, and as you come out, there is, shall I say, Sean Leafmeyer.
Woo!
Before we
Yeah.
reach Sean, Liam just sort of almost like whispers to Lavanya. You guys have some compensation problems. Looking the size of the stadium.
Oh, well, like, you're saying Mike Jaws has a, like, compensation problem or whatever?
Maybe.
Yeah, he's certainly overcompensating for something. But I'll be able to take him down a peg or two when I'm done with him.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright.
So
Yeah,
as you
boy.
guys climb out of the limo one by one, Sean Leafmeyer's there. He's like, "Guys, nice you can all make it. Welcome to your next great stage."
Well, aesthetically saying, it's not pleasing at all. But otherwise, atmosphere seems good.
Oh, trust me. Backstage area may not be the nicest place in the world, but once you get out there, once you see the stage, the ring, the audience, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, sorry, you cut out on the last bit, and I'm like, wait, what?
Oh. He said,
That's
like,
okay. Once you get onto that stage with the audience,
yeah,
you're
gonna
gonna,
love
and
it.
then, yeah.
And as he says that, he points in the direction where there's a crew of guys ready to take you on. He's like, if you just follow the crew over here, they'll take you to the changing room for you guys so that you can guys get all prepped and ready. And then from there, the show can begin. Wish you good luck, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Meyer, Leafmeyer, Feck. Thank you, Mr. Leafmeyer. Can't wait to perform.
No worries, guys. Do your best.
I'm just waiting to see what they have in store for me.
Oh yes.
Oh.
And
Can I
then
sneak away?
oh.
Hmm?
Never again, Evie. Sorry.
I want to use my ability. Fuck. I can't remember. I want to do Bathe in Shadow. I want to see if I can sneak away.
Oh, what, sneak away to an undisclosed location?
Yes, an undisclosed location.
Okay, let's see if you can from this situation. As you're walking along with the guys towards the crew, roll me a cunning check. So that'll be a D20 plus your cunning.
A 16.
That's not too bad. As you're walking along, and as Sean Leafmeyer is wishing you on, you just seem to identify an ideal time to have a bit of time to yourself, as you seemingly seem to dive away into the shadows to an undisclosed location. Now, what are you doing in said undisclosed location?
I want to go see the shark dude who talks a bunch of shit.
You want to see Mike Jaws.
Yes. We'll not see him, but maybe see him, but
But maybe try to
Like,
bump
watch him
into
from
him.
afar. Yeah, watch him from afar.
Okay. With where you are, you get this idea in your head that you need to see what this is all about. You've never met Mike Jaws in person. All you know about Mike Jaws is what obviously Lavagna's been talking about with her big match, what you know from AJ, with hanging out with AJ for a good while. You've never met the man in person. So you just sneak over to one side, and as you do, you kind of like go on your own little passageway as you follow like a couple of like nearby corridors, seeming to blend in if anyone were to come past you. Then you find yourself on like a T-junction, and as you are about to come out of this T-junction, you hide behind a wall as you notice Mike Jaws, or should I say a door, a star on it, that has the name Mike Jaws on it.
do I know if he's in the room?
Roll me a wits check. See if you can have a good damn guess.
$16 again.
That's a damn good guess you're making. You think to yourself for a moment now, if I was Mike Jaws, as much as you know about him, would I be chilling out in my room or raving in the glory? You think to yourself that although he would probably be raving in all the glory, there might be a chance that he would be in his room.
Okay. So I'm gonna go and knock on the door. Because I'm not in my wrestler uniform, so I'm in my cloak. Like
Right.
like a witch's cloak. So I'm gonna go up and knock on the door because I want to see if he's in there.
Ah, cool. Like you in your like fortune teller setup of the moment.
Yes, something like that. Yeah, like a fortune teller.
Cool. You knock on the door. As you knock on the door, you kind of don't hear anything, yet at the same time you do hear a noise coming from the other side. A noise that just seems like muffled and hard to hear, but you know someone or something is in there.
Mm, is there like a keyhole or anything I could like, so I could see if somebody like who is in there?
There's a keyhole indeed. You pop your eye close to the keyhole as best you can. Just go, housekeeping! So you go to the keyhole, look into it as best you can. When you look through the keyhole, you're looking towards one side of his changing room, and you see like a big mirror, see like a chair where he could just sit down and just chill out for a bit. And you don't see any sign of him there. But then all of a sudden, you see a reflection in the mirror of someone. It's not a Sharkon. The reflection in the mirror is a Hissen. A Hissen holding a championship belt.
Wait, is this like hold up? Okay, so Artemis obviously like stands up and kind of just thinks for a minute, like, am I am I going crazy? Am I seeing things?
And as you
I'm.
stand... Oh, go ahead. You go.
I was just gonna say that I will. No, I want to know what you're.
Sorry, you cut out there for me. What was that?
I want to know what you're gonna say because mine's gonna be like the thing that makes me leave, but I want to know what you're gonna.
No worries. As you stand up, you kind of have like a weird chill down your spine. You don't know who this person is, yet you feel as if there's a great pressure just emitting from this room. The person who is in there, even though it is not necessarily Mike Jaws, is just exceeding this pure pressure of power and dominance that just shakes you to your core. You've never seemed to have approached someone of this caliber before, and it just takes you off guard.
So this is a real person. Like I'm not just seeing things in this room at this point.
How about you roll a smarts check?
Okay.
We'll see.
$20.
Even though there is a part of you believing that this can't be real, this person is real. You're not imagining it. It is an actual Hissen, an actual championship belt with these actual chills in Mike Jaws' room.
I'm gonna knock again.
Oof.
Oh,
You knock.
I want this person to answer.
You knock. Doesn't seem to be a response for a while, as all of a sudden you just see movement on the doorknob. And as the doorknob just seems to open up, you see this Hissen with his championship belt. This championship belt has an engraving of a globe on it. This simply reads World Heavyweight Champion. A banner across the bottom that reads Radovan Wreckable. The very vision of this Hissen is a large green boa constrictor Hissen, wearing a suit, properly suited and booted from top to bottom. A posh red tie, keeping it all together. And as the door opens, you're looking at him, but it's like as if he's not even looking at you. As you just seemingly feel this person walk past you and walk down the corridor you just went down, as if to think that he didn't even clock onto you being there. He moved because he wanted to move, not because you knocked.
I have no words for this.
But I tell you what you do now have. You have an empty room that belongs to Mike Jaws.
Well, then I'm gonna go into the room because apparently nobody's in there now.
It's up to you. You have options.
What are the other options than going into the room? Leaving? I don't want to leave. I want to go into the room.
I don't want to leave. I want to go in the room. Of course, every plausible answer. Go in the room. So you enter the room. Now, when you enter the room, do you keep the door open or do you seemingly close it behind you just to make sure that you have some privacy in here?
I would close it so they didn't think anything was... Because if the door's just open, like, you would assume that somebody's been in there if you didn't close it.
Well, there you go. So you open the door, you seemingly close the door behind you. As you do, you suddenly have this feeling that you just want to go, ugh, as if you suddenly had like all this pent up breath kept inside of you for what just transpired. You have no idea what the hell that person is, what just happened, but what the hell? But you're in Mike Jaws' changing room. It's quite a big room. It's got a large mirror with lights on it, as if it were to like do like makeup before having a big like press conference or something. Got a chair, and where he would obviously chill out and all that jazz. He's got a large sofa in the back, and above that large sofa he's got a series of posters. The series of posters showing him with his arm around multiple different celebrities across the world, as he's been on different red carpets or taking pictures with him with his championship belt. Basically being very, very up himself even more, even in his own room. You do, however, notice something. There's something in his room that you would think would be a bit weird. There's a letter on his desk, where the big mirror is and all that jazz. A letter that is simply to M. Jaws.
I want to read the letter.
You head on over to the mirror. As you do, you can see yourself. It's a very nice mirror. Makes it look great. You take the letter, open the letter, and whip it out. The letter goes as follows. Dear Mike Jaws, current reigning world hardcore champion. Tonight, you don't face anyone in that ring. You face a challenger that may just push you to your limits. Up until this point, you have been facing challengers that have been not worthy to claim your title. Until now. This opponent of which you face is worthy for you. But just know that even if they may be worthy for you, and even though you may believe you yourself are worthy for me, ... you will, in big letters, never be worthy to challenge the world heavyweight champion. Lost once, and that is the only chance you will ever get. Until you finally prove yourself, this world championship will never be yours. and then it simply just reads R. Wreckable in like this really ornate handwriting.
Well, I'm gonna put it back. Put it back exactly how I found it, like to the like minute detail. Like nobody can know that I was there touching that.
And as you're putting it back, you start hearing noises from outside the room.
I love it.
And you start hearing what seem to be the sounds of press going, Cham, what about your big match? Hey, what are you going to do after a match? You going to celebrate? Where's the party? And you just hear a bunch of people, just the crowd and the sounds and everything getting louder and louder as they approach the room you are now in.
I'm gonna slip back into the shadows in the corner.
You slip into a dark corner of the room, as if to nonchalantly hide from everything. You do notice that as you approach a corner of the room, you see there is enough of a gap behind the sofa for you to squeeze behind, if you did wish to get fully hidden.
Yeah, let's fully hide. I ain't going nowhere.
Okay, the letter is on the desk. You are hidden behind the sofa. As the door swings open and you just hear like all these loud noises, Mike Jaws enter in. And you just seemingly hear what must be like his management team just going, okay, no more questions. The champ's got to get ready. As he just slams the door behind him. You are now in Mike Jaws' changing room with Mike Jaws. Jules starts like relaxing and just does a heavy breath as he chucks his championship belt onto the sofa. And as he throws it onto the sofa, roll me a toughness check. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore.
I rolled a 24.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
The championship belt hits the sofa. It hits it hard enough so that you can feel it, but you hold yourself together as if to go, no, mustn't make noise. No. As you see through the little gap that you have, Mike Jaws just like taking his suit off. Underneath his suit, he's got his gear on, already ready to go. As he's shadow boxing in midair for a short while, taking his glasses off and putting them on the desk. And then he sees the letter. He sees the opened letter. As he picks up the envelope, looks at it's opened, and just nonchalantly looks around the room as if to think, who the hell or what the hell. But he doesn't give a damn mostly, he's just more curious about what the hell this letter is. Opens up the letter, reads it, and you can tell that he's reading it quite thoroughly. And as he reads that last moment, you can just feel from him that there is an immense amount of rage building inside. As he takes that letter, crumples it into his hands, and just throws it at the mirror in front of him, which ricochets off and just rolls ever so close to where that gap is from where.
I'm in the lion's den at this point in time.
Jaws is staring into the mirror at this point, and he just says to himself, I am worthy. I am the champ. I will take on the World Heavyweight Champion. I will claim what is mine. I am Mike Jaws, damn it! As he just does like a... Oh, go ahead.
Is there any way that I can, like, throw a card where, like, he won't know, like, obviously he's gonna know somebody's in there, but, like, he won't be able to, like, know exactly where I am, but, like, throw a card where he can see it?
Like in a way so that he can see it, but it doesn't necessarily give away your position.
Yes.
You can certainly try.
Oh no.
Roll me a d20 plus your smarts to see what happens.
A 20.
Now, when you're throwing the card, are you
Good
just
die.
aiming for like a space near the mirror just to get his attention, or? Like, what is the desired destination of your card?
Hello.
It's so tense for waiting.
Okay. I need specific way. It can land anywhere where he can see it, but it has to be in a specific orientation.
Right.
So yeah.
Is it okay? So, what card are you throwing from your tarot?
I am throwing the King of Pentacles, and it needs to be reversed. Because the King of Pentacles reversed means it's that uncertainty that you're talking about, but it also means that the king is falling. He's gonna fall from his throne. Because obviously, all of my stuff that just happened, I'm just like, nope, he's going down.
Oh shit!
Oh god.
With that 20, you manage to throw it and ricochet it off the wall well enough so that it lands and rotates onto the desk in front of him in that reverse position. And as he looks down at the card,
Yes!
he just looks at that reversed version of the King of Pinnacles. Doesn't understand what the heck it is, but then looks back and tries to look around to see if he can find out where it came from, which he is going to roll for.
Oh my god, Artemis, get the frick out of there!
I'm gonna die.
You're going to die! You I spent ages on your character and it's just going to I'm gonna have to draw another character for you!
So with his roll,
So I won't die yet.
from his roll, Mike Jules seems to walk closer to the sofa.
Oh
But all he does is pick up the crumpled bit of paper and seem to walk back to the mirror. As he uncrumples it, as if to read it again, and then take it with him into an adjoining room, which seems to be his ensuite bathroom. He just closes the door behind him.
Can I please get out of here now?
Yes, you can.
no!
I'm gonna make a I am literally gonna make a run for it. Like, I will leave the door open. I am getting out of.
Now, are you going to leave your card behind, or are you going to bring it with you?
I'm gonna take it. I'm not losing a.
Do some cool shit, but I ain't losing no cards.
He doesn't deserve my card. He doesn't deserve it. Okay.
I like
He
that.
deserves it embedded in his.
He just deserves his fate, which he doesn't understand.
Oh, it's so
I'm
cool.
smart enough to stand.
So you get up from the sofa, you carefully go to the mirror, grab your card, slot it back into your deck, and you head towards the door. And as you head towards the door, you like calmly turn the handle and you open it. But as you open it,
I book it.
now, as you book, roll me a d6 plus your cunning, and let me know what you get.
I got a 10.
You have won the contest. As effectively, you hear a noise and just book. You don't give a crap about that door. You just run the hell out. You remember where you came from. You get back to the group. You're like panting and mad. And as far as you're aware, you didn't see anyone come out the door thinking, what the hell? You got away scot-free.
As far as I'm aware, nobody knows I even left.
Effectively, yeah. And at this moment in time, like, you notice that the rest of the guys are with the crew, ready to move forward, but they're kind of halted because they're wondering where the hell Artemis is. And then you've just ran in out of nowhere, seemingly out of breath, with your eyes wide open, just going.
Artemis, but it's not really that hard to follow us. Are you okay?
I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Just, practicing my breathing for the match so they don't, knock the air out of me.
Right. Okay.
Can I notice anything different from Artemis?
Roll me a smarts check, Liam.
Okay. That's a dirty 20.
Ooh. You look at Artemis, as Artemis is obviously saying, nah, breathing exercises, all normal. And you have experience when it comes to the military, and you know when it comes to... You can kind of clock on to when people are maybe not telling the truth. Something ain't quite right with what Artemis is saying. But do you approach her about it now, or wait on it?
I'll just say to Artemis, I'm pretty good what comes knowing other persons, but I don't want to bother you with it now, but I will tell you my observations, and we will probably discuss this later.
Right now, we need to go to the changing room, so let the nice crew lead the way.
Yes.
Yes, Erg want to dunk.
Yes, Erg wants to dunk Grunk, and you want to beat some people up, and so do you, and yay.
So that being said, the crew are like, okay, we all here? Great, let's go already. Come on. As it just like take you guys over, give you an introduction of like the lay of the land, introduce you to your changing room, you open the door, let you guys in, and just go, okay, when we're ready for you guys, we'll knock on the door. Okay, don't hurt anybody, but if you do, just don't cause any blood, because my god, it costs too much to clean this place up. See you in a mo. As you are now in the changing room.
Be any more gay?
You can tell he leans in a joyous way.
A joyous way. Yes. Liam said that in character, like as his character is.
Hey, well, there's nothing wrong with people liking people of the opposite sex.
Yeah, no, there is nothing. Just, professional courtesy.
and as you guys are now chilling out in the changing room, is there anything you guys would want to discuss amongst yourselves as you are waiting?
Well, now that we are alone, what did you see or hear? Because you're not acting the way that you're just doing breathing exercises. You seem somewhat, would we say, out of breath because you've been running from something? Or maybe you heard something and it made you run towards us to tell us about it.
I didn't see nothing. I didn't hear nothing.
Again, I have experience in military espionage. I'm not that. I don't buy it.
You don't have to buy it, but you're not going to get anything else out of me.
Now I'm just thinking that would there be like some sort of a way to cunningly make it the way that Artemis sort of crosses himself with his speech, that it reveals more than intended.
What?
Well,
Truth
I'll tell you
serum?
what. I will tell you what.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you and Artemis have a little contest against each other, and we'll find out what happens.
Okay.
So, take your d6s, roll them, add your cunning modifiers, and whoever rolls highest wins.
I'm waiting.
I got 11, but real quick, I got a ditch for like 15 minutes, so just so you know, unless I'm forced, I deny everything.
Okay.
I
Fair
got
enough.
a 12.
Oof. It is a very tight contest, and as you kind of like having this staring contest, as if to kind of try to nonchalantly pressure something out, and as you seemingly win the contest, you stare down Artemis's
Mm-hmm.
as they seem to stare you back, as if more so as if to think, stop. As your gaze becomes more and more intimidating to them, to the point where they just go,
Mm-hmm.
I was in Mike Jaws' room! Like, just out of instinct and out of reaction.
Okay.
And you didn't die?
Well, I thought I was going to die.
What the heck were you doing in there of all places?
Hey, you guys know who this Mike Jaws guy is. I only heard stories from you and AJ. All I wanted to do was to see if I could use my fortune teller know-how to kind of get an idea of him. And then I didn't find him.
Mike Jaws?
If Mike Jaws is a big boa constrictor hissing in a suit.
Wait.
No, he is not.
Why would a boa constrictor dude be in Mike Jaws' room?
Well, he didn't say much. I mean, I knocked on the door. He opened it, but seemed to walk past me without even seeing me there. But I read a letter that he wrote for Jaws, which was a bit condescending.
Right. Like,
Basically saying that him and his opponent are not worthy for the world championship.
okay.
Okay.
And it was from.
Well, the the signature was written very ornately, but I could read an R and the surname Wreckable or something.
Wait. Why is my dad here? What the hell is he doing here?
That's
Yeah.
actually something I want to know.
That guy was your dad?
Yeah.
He was giving me. I can't even explain it. It felt as if he just had this pressure around him. I just couldn't even breathe. Like, who the hell is he?
Okay, Artemis, next time you go sneaking around places like the reckless dark elf you are, just stay the fuck away from him, okay? Just just turn around if you even see him. Why is my dad here of all places? I mean, maybe checking the competition out for his world champion belt or something. But then,
Wait, your dad is a world heavyweight champion.
well, yeah, because, well, yeah. I mean, he was the guy that broke the coach that Hammerhead Shark on coach's back. He was the one who defeated Mike Jaws like the first time round, or at least I think he was.
Well, that is interesting thing to learn. And yeah. But now I kind of understand where you're coming from.
Either way, I gotta beat Mike Jaws in order to get to him. That's all that matters right
Yes.
now. I can worry about him after I deal with Mike Jaws.
As you say that, Artemis
Yeah.
looks on and just goes, well, on top of that, I did also get to mess around with Mike Jaws, so that was fun.
Oh, good for you, I guess.
Let's just say I read his future.
Well, whatever his future is, I'll be ready for him. Yeah.
And
Tickety
as you
boo.
guys are chilling out, all of a sudden at the door, you hear a knocking.
Housekeeping. I mean, what?
Housekeeping.
Okay,
Oh
is
God,
everyone
that just-
is everyone decent in here? Just before we open the door.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Like you just see Erg in the corner just going, is a rock decent?
I mean, depends on Agricon standards, but Okay, I'll answer the door.
Liam actually is walking.
Like walking besides
I'm
me.
okay.
Doo-doo-doo.
Yeah, I'm just like casually walking around. I have nothing to hide. And at that point, you can actually see that there is like a blood, his blood group tattooed on his arm, and few other little, few
Spell.
other pictures.
Mm. Okay, yeah, so Lavanya's gonna answer the door.
Okay. You answer the door. And on the other side, you see an old hammerhead shark guy. Who's his
Hey!
head going, "Oh, I thought I'd find you here."
Hey! Yeah. Hey, Hey, how you doing? Like, glad to see you made it.
"Oh, I'm doing just fine. I even brought some of the kids along and we're gonna watch the matches tonight. A special invitation from Mr. Leafmeyer himself. Quite nice of him."
Yeah, that is nice of him.
And don't you worry, AJ's gonna be with me in the audience. He insisted that he comes in order to see how you do against Mike Jaws.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, him and I patched things up between each other.
Oh, that's great. I know AJ can have a bit of a short fuse at times, but he is a fantastic individual. Very strong, especially loyal to his family.
Hmm, that is very true. Yeah, so, uh, I mean, did you want to come in, or are you...
Oh, no, I
Yeah.
won't disturb you. You have preparations to do. I just thought I would, give you an old man's advice and wish you good luck.
Well, we're all ears. Oh, was that the good luck? Oh my god. I'm sorry.
That was it. Bloody hell, are you older than I am? Maybe you should clean out your ears.
I mean, I don't have ears, so...
And how the hell can you even hear? I'm not even going to.
I mean, there's probably holes that I can hear from. I don't know.
Oh, Hissen always weirded me out. Not in your personalities, but in your anatomy, let's put it that way.
No offense taken.
None intended. Oh, I almost forgot. There's a story I forgot to tell you about AJ. Something that you may find a little bit more understanding as to his certain situation right now.
Alright.
It's at this moment when he will actually slowly start walking into the dressing room. Do not go look for my dad. Artemis already out the door to do exactly what Evander said not to do.
I mean, to be honest, I can imagine Artemis totally doing that.
True. Let's go. Don't do it. Doing it.
Gosh darn it.
So the old man walks to the room. He takes a seat, and as he takes his seat, he begins his little story. Just goes, "By now you probably understand how AJ came to us. I found him when he was abandoned at a local park. The one that you went to when you met up with him. He was alone, clothes ripped asunder, wet and dirty, trying his best to play with the children, but the other children did not want to play with him. He was an outsider at a very young age. Then I took him in. I saw something in the young lad that reminded me of myself. I couldn't let someone just stand there not having a family. I took him back to my gym and raised him as my own. Taught him everything I knew. And, well, he is the man we see him today. Very loyal and hard-working individual with a great passion behind him. And a great future in the world of wrestling. No doubt about it. However, there was something I discovered when raising him that I have kept a secret from him for many years. What I am about to tell you must not leave this room. Do I make myself clear?
Crystal clear.
And I shall enforce that rule, being an old army guy myself.
Oh, yes. It's that point where he takes a deep breath. And he just goes, well, you see, when he was growing up, I found something else. I found an old newspaper that went into detail about an old experiment that went down, where apparently a young child was tested on. A young child who was tested on was taken away by quite a loving family. The family's surname, however, was Jaws.
I am going to message you something privately, Dom.
You see, I've called AJ his name ever since. Oh, I called him AJ before I even knew what his true legacy was. See, AJ is the long-lost brother of Mike Jaws.
You have no idea how seething I am right now. And I sent a message to you, Dom. Like,
I'm reading this quickly just to analyze the situation we're in. Of course. And so
carry on.
and so,
Proceed.
And so as he says that, he goes, well, you see, his name is actually Adrian Jaws. They said I called him AJ way before he understood his true family legacy. But I called him AJ because he had on necklace that he wore at the time when he was a child. The initials with just A and J on them. Paid no heed for the longest time, and then, through investigating and talking to some friends of mine, it came true. Adrian Jaws is AJ. Boy I raised in that gym, and the boy who has that seething revenge for Mike Jaws himself. His twin brother.
But he was experimented on? What kind of experiment was it?
You understand that AJ covers his face. There is a reason why that. You see, when AJ was taken away, he was experimented on by a strange scientist. For the longest time, no one knew who this scientist was. Then I did some research, discovered his name was Strongham.
At this point, Liam, as seldomly as goes like, what did you just say? And seems a fair bit fair bit, let's say, even maybe hinting to angry
Hmm.
as he hears the name Strongham.
Oh, I said his name was Strongham. Apparently he was a scientist that experimented on test subjects who were at a very young age. I understand that you guys have met him also. He seemed to have changed his direction towards
Yes.
biosciences into the mechanical sciences. Something that I thought was already evil enough.
Yes. And, you know, there is this sort of a way that I usually am not the aggressive type, but whenever I even hear name Strongham anymore, it just makes my blood boil.
Damn. And then, as your blood begins to boil, he basically says, "See, back when he first started his twisted methods, he would take young children, as I said, and experiment on them. A lot of these children were found murdered, or strange, twisted abominations that weren't living nor dead. It was terrifying, to say the least. They said that there was one subject that stayed alive, found a way to escape, after Strongham's hideout at the time was discovered by the authorities. But they never found that test subject. Then I found AJ. See, AJ's no ordinary boy. He's a good, kind lad. Someone who has worked his hardest to become the man we know him as today. However, he's not a true Sharkon.
Oh.
There's a reason why he covers his face. Even when I found him as a child, he covered his face as best he could, as if he was disgusted by what he looked like. For you see... Ah, I just want to find the Ven's dead.
Oh.
It's like, well, you see, all of AJ's outer extremities, if you've seen him, have been Sharkon-esque. His large arms, physique, his hands. But his face is, human.
Hmm.
It's under my belief that Strongham was experimenting with different breeds, trying to create a gene line that was to become the dominant gene line in the wrestling industry. And he managed to combine the genes of a human being, the Sharkon. Thus, AJ born. Dare I say created.
Hmm.
Shit.
That's some interesting points. But it's good that he has had such a wise mentor guiding him through life after he was found.
He looks over to you with a good like smile on his face as if he goes, "Oh, that's lovely to hear from a young one such as yourself.
Yes.
I'm just happy that I was the one who found him and decided to take him away. I keep worrying that if I didn't take him away that day, he would have been taken by the wrong people. Possibly raised or, who knows, tortured as a young child. Can't even imagine what could have become of him. But I say this to you in confidence because you now know AJ. You deserve to understand the truth. Especially if you are to face Mike Jaws, his dreaded rival.
Well, even if you hadn't have said what you said, I'm not going to let anyone down. I'm certainly not going to lower myself to Jaws' standards.
He gives a
And I can carry on.
Yeah, he gives another grin as he just walks on over and gives like a good tap. As is his way of just doing like good stuff. Like, you'll be just fine. Just go out there and remember what I said. That anger of yours is what led Mike Jaws to become the champion he is today. Ruthless, aggressive, destructive. You see that potential future in yourself, young one. You have the potential to channel that anger, overcome what Jaws could never. You do that, you will win that championship, become a world champion. Be one step closer to facing your father. I know it.
I know it too. I know it too. I spent way too long focusing on the wrong thing. I'm going to take back as much of what I've lost as possible. Yeah.
But he gives a good nod
Yeah.
as he looks like he's walking towards the door. Just goes, "Well, I will leave you young ones to it. Sure you've got some good preparation to get sorted before your big days. Now go out there and kick some ass. Bring home the gold. And make our
We
dreams
shall.
proud."
Go ahead, Liam.
Yeah, we shall. And we'll see. We will drop by the gym after things have gotten done.
I would like that. So will the kids. Can't wait for you. Good luck out there. And he just opens up the door for himself big enough for it, shuts the door behind him. You all to your thoughts.
Well, shit.
I'm gonna sneak out.
Oh my god.
God's sake. Well, if you're going to sneak out, roll me a cunning check to see if you can sneak out.
I got a 20.
A dirty 20? Or nat 20?
It's not Nat.
Oh.
It's 20 total.
Fair play. With that score, as the old man is slowly creeping out of the room, and as the guys are thinking about what he's just said as a revelation to everyone, You see this as a moment to squeeze through the gap and shuffle yourself out of the door, of which you do. You are now in the hallway outside. What do you wish to do?
Exactly what Lavanya told me not to do.
Oh my god.
Search for Daddy?
Search for Daddy.
Okay. You're not 100% sure of where the best way to go is. After all, this is an arena you have not necessarily been to before. But you do wish to channel your gut instinct and see if you have a good idea. Roll me a wits check.
Oh my god, I'd find it so hilarious if she.
16.
Ooh.
Ooh, 16. Your guts are not too understanding of which direction you should go to, but you do have more of an incline to go left rather than right. Follow your gut and head down the hall to your left. As you do, you come across what seems to be Sean Leafmeyer on the phone.
I'm gonna eavesdrop.
Alrighty. You like huddle up nearby,
Mm.
as if to not be too noticed, as you hear him on the phone. And you don't quite get what's the whole conversation because you're only hearing it from his end. But he seems to be on the phone as if he's going, yeah, I know. Look, we're gonna be fine. Look, I didn't trust them with taking on the champions unless I knew they could perform. Yes, I know there's a lot of controversy around what if Lavanya wins and has the world championship and goes against her father. I already know that. We'll cross that bridge when it comes. As far as I'm aware, it's gonna be a straightforward match. No hubbub. Just gonna see what happens. I've got all my hoping. My group knows exactly what they're doing. They're gonna bring back the gold. Simple as that.
Do I know what team he's talking about?
Roll me a smarts check and see if you do.
I doubt it because I got an 8.
You're not too sure what he's talking about. You hear what he's saying, and you know that he's talking about Lavanya's match against Mike Jaws, but you don't quite understand what he means. He seems to continue a little bit more on the phone, and as he does, you then hear him go, okay? Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. What? What do you mean he's here? I haven't seen him anywhere. Last time I checked, he was back in the US. What do you mean he's here to see the main event? He can't be here. No, he can't be here. You realize if he's here and watches the match, he will potentially ruin things for everyone. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta get things sorted. He just seems to close his phone, cut off the call from there, as he is heading in your direction.
Oh my god.
Can I what would I have to because I need to know what stat I have to focus.
Oh, what do you want to do?
I want to stop him and ask what he if he's planning to rig a match or something because what it sounds like he's gonna mess.
I get you. Why don't you try and stop him and roll me an appeal check?
$16.
So as he's walking towards your general direction, you kind of build up the courage to go, nope, need some answers. Kind of jump in front of him and try to interrogate him about what's this whole situation about. Bringing up the whole idea of, are you trying to rig a match? What is this? As he looks at you and just goes, Artemis, don't know how long you've been listening in for, but there's no way I would ever rig a match. I'm the head of a World Wrestling Organization. If I was seen rigging matches, my entire career would be on the line. My entire business industry would be on. Wrestling industry we now know would collapse on a brink. Trust me, I don't rig matches. And if you want to know, let me just tell you. World Heavyweight Champion is here. Just scared he's going to interfere with Lavania's match.
Can I help you keep him away from the match?
In all honesty, Anonymous, I'm not sure what you can do. I mean, have you seen him? Or just, I don't know, seen anyone who looks like suspicious heavyweight champion?
I have seen him. I have felt his energy. I do not like it. And I will do everything in my power to keep him from hurting one of my friends.
He looks at you very seriously as as if he's like staring into you at this point. Just goes, where was he? Where did you see him go?
He was in Mike Jaws' room. He left a note.
A note? Nick
Yep.
Charles's room?
Yeah, the note said something about him not being worthy, which, not gonna lie, I agree with. He's not worthy of much, but he was, it seemed a little threatening. It really pissed Mike off. He got angry.
And then what Sean does is, it's kind of like he just freezes for a moment as if to think, worthy? What could he be? And then, as if something clicks in his head, he just kind of looks up and thinks, oh no. No. He just gets his phone, seems to like tap on it repeatedly, very fast, as he goes onto his phone very quickly, and just goes, Charlie, make sure any of the entrances and exits are covered profusely. You see anyone that matches the identity of a World Heavyweight Champion, I want you to stop him exactly where he is. He's going nowhere. I repeat, stop the World Heavyweight Champion. Closes up his phone, looks at you, and just goes, Artemis, you might have just saved this match. You best go and get ready to help in the search to find this guy.
How do I need to get ready? I'm already in my uniform, aren't I?
Well, he just looks at you and just goes, well, just wait in the changing room and they'll call you for when they're ready.
Okay, I'll have my cards. And with that, I'm gonna go back and hopefully not let Lavanya know that I was just figuring out that her dad's trying to do something.
Fair enough. And as you head back to the room, and as you're about to head back in, you see one of the stagehands coming up, like running towards the door. You have to go, "Oh, Artemis! Oh, 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 sorry, I'm one of the new stagehands. I'm quite weak in the chest. But I got some big news about your match."
Did my opponent not show up?
Well, kinda. I don't know, it just seems as if your opponent just fell sick of the last minute. We got no contender for you. Well, I say that. The boss, he had a quick look round to see if any local guys were available that fit the criteria for a championship match, and, well, the only one that did was a guy you trained with back at the gym. He just, like, gets out his little clipboard that's clipped to his side. He just goes, "Let's see here. Yeah, here it is. They said it was a guy called, well, it's not allowed to go by, but his name's AJ?"
Oh,
And
Well,
that,
find out.
ladies and gentlemen, is where we are ending this installment of Ring Warriors.
Damn!
Damn.
Damn!
Ah,
this is why
shit.
you need to tell guys. We learn every.
But still.
Big shit.
Damn!
Big shit.
Aw, man.
Artemis may or may not have been involved in her opponent getting sick.
Unconfirmed reports.
Yep, unconfirmed reports, like, there's no proof. There's no proof!
And so, with our session coming to a close, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. If you have enjoyed the episode this week, be sure to let your friends know of Ring Warriors, the game. Sorry, I would say that properly. Ring Warriors, the wrestling tabletop role-playing game, which is scheduled for a release at some point next year with a Kickstarter starting in the new year. Cross fingers if that does go ahead. But if you do want to let the guys know about any of the fun times you've been enjoying, be sure to share the stream. The video on demand will be available both on Twitch for the next 30 days, as well as available on YouTube for you to enjoy as soon as the stream comes to an end. Let everyone around the world know about Ring Warriors and bring them down for some good fun times, as we're here every Friday for some more role-playing action. On top of that, guys, be sure to join the social links that are down there in the description or the panels, wherever you may be. Join up on the Facebook page, Twitter page, Discord channel, and more for some more fun times. That being said, that will be goodbye from the guys.
Once
Bye-bye!
Goodbye.
Lovely. And goodbye from yours truly. That being said, guys, have a fantastic morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time it may be. Stay explosive. We'll be seeing you guys next time. See you then.